Get the most out of your time and power meter with the Join Cycling Training app. It has worked unbelievably well for me with true adaptive plans that allow me to do structured workouts and mix it up with group rides with my friends. Check it out through the link down below. Dauphiné yesterday, mass crash and then neutralization, no stage result. Here's what Remco had to say.
I think overall it's okay. Crashed on the right side, so crashed on my head as well, as you can see. The helmet saved me today.
But in terms of GC, no changes except for Juan Ayuso out of the race. Unfortunately, UAE's big leader in this race, perhaps big leader in the Tour de France as well. We had the first mountaintop finish though, Le Collet d'Alevard, with the warm-up climb of Col du Granier beforehand. 174 Ks, not a particularly difficult stage, especially compared to the ones we have on the weekend, but a very, very difficult 35-minute finish, averaging about 9%. Breakaway went, Court, Gregoire, under control from Quickstep, but then Pedersen and Trek came to the front. Pedersen's so good in this sort of terrain, pulling, and Trek really had designs on this stage. And in the breakaway on the descent of Granier, we saw first big sweeping corners, problems descending. Second time, and it just, you could feel a crash coming. They were just missing the corner so much, and then eventually Holliman and Gernelek on Arkea Samsic went down. And actually the peloton, you see Collet, he crashed hard yesterday. A lot of riders are sort of taking it gingerly down here, not wanting to crash again, but it was actually getting launched on the front. We had Mikel Landa talking to Pedersen. Pedersen was launching it. Landa saying, "Estás bajando demasiado rápido, hombre, tranquilo." But Pedersen, he says, "I don't understand what you're saying, Mikel." And so he just keeps launching it down this descent. I don't know if it was Ciccone in his wheel, and they were proper splits. Remco was on a gap to a group, like Roglic was right there. He was on Landa's wheel, I think, with Jungels in front of him. Neylands, I think, is the Israel rider. You see Remco here, he's chasing with Matteo Jorgensen in the Young Riders jersey, and Carlos Rodriguez, the Ineos rider. So big splits there. Was actually a massive group behind. Breakaway gets back together on the descent, and they actually get taken down the garden path here. They go straight, and you see the fans pointing to the left. You see the little yellow signage to the left with the convoy or the lead moto goes straight, so they lose a minute. I mean, they weren't going to win anyway, but it would be annoying to be led down a random road in the Savoy region after being in the break for 4 hours. So Bora-Hansgrohe, they got numbers, but they hadn't taken it up this stage. They got Roglic in maybe second on GC in the green jersey, and here we go, the moment of truth. We've seen the time trials where Remco was the best GC rider, but now we have the uphill test on Collet d'Alevard, and Ineos take it up. Tarling, first K's 4%. He starts smashing it. Already, it's in a line. Riders under pressure. Jorgensen on the wheel there. Roglic. But riders, unfortunately, like Geoghegan Hart, he crashed hard yesterday. Not the day for them. And not the day for Sepp Kuss either, who didn't crash yesterday. And he's off the back early. It's still a group of like 50 or something. And he's getting dropped. So Jorgensen, Bart Lemon was able to stay with him for a while. But Jorgensen was going to have to do most of this, or all of this himself, navigating multiple leaders on Bora, multiple good riders on Ineos like Depluse and Rodriguez. I mean, Bora got 4 at that moment, and also Quickstep got Landa. How would they play him? How confident were they in Remco? We're doing face analysis. How does Roglic look? How does Remco look? Javier Roma there, Hindley on the wheel of Roglic. And some big guys were doing well. Lascano, G, Gregoire, he was the best of the breakaway, but started to have a nosebleed. And we saw from Ineos, it wasn't all Skytrain the whole way. Depluse attacks after Rodriguez lets his wheel go, and Landa goes to his wheel, and then Hindley's going to his wheel. So it's a battle of the pawns, at least so I thought. It's a battle of the second-tier GC guys on their own team. But then Landa doesn't go all the way to Depluse. Either he couldn't, and Depluse was very, very, very strong on this finish, and maybe Hindley couldn't, or Landa got told on the radio to wait. But Depluse goes, and ideally Landa would go with him, because then Bora-Hansgrohe play it perfectly. They got 3 guys that could jump. The second one is Vlasov. No one responds. He's ahead of Depluse on GC. He's a better GC rider than Depluse. Perfect tactically for Bora-Hansgrohe, and now Landa has to chase Ineos and Bora up the road with riders who are not that far behind Remco on GC, because both these guys did such good time trials, and so something has to give. An isolated rider has to attack, and that's Giulio Ciccone. His team didn't ride all day, little trek just to come 5th behind Vlasov and Depluse. He launches, Roglic on his wheel, Remco gapped, and it was looking really bad for him at that moment. Vlasov was relaying. Now we see Roglic, I guess with Remco dropped, trying to get across to Vlasov, and actually, but then he stops here, and so they ride just behind for quite a while. Derek G is the Israel Premier Tech rider that comes back to Rodriguez, Ciccone, Jorgensen, and Roglic. He goes around them. He starts pulling these Grand Tour winners, Grand Tour Mountain Stage winners, Carlos Rodriguez in the Tour de France, the Paris-Nice winner, Remco going into sort of TT mode, saving his GC with Mikel Landa. Roglic tries again to burst across to Vlasov, not trying to bring Jorgensen or Carlos Rodriguez with him. And he's only like 2 seconds behind. He stops. Roglic stops. But it was very, very clear Roglic was trying to get across to Vlasov to use him as a satellite rider or sort of reverse lead out, and he does. Gets across. 5 seconds later, Vlasov realizes that Jorgensen was out of the draft because of, Roglic burst is too good, and Vlasov starts absolutely sending it. And when De Plus loses the wheel, Jorgensen can't do any more either. An absolute tactical masterclass from Bora Hansgrohe. And they had the best rider for it as well, but Vlasov was super strong and they played him perfectly. He's dragging Roglic away from Remco for the GC lead, and he's securing the stage win in theory. Although Ciccone, he beat Roglic in a sprint last year on a very, very similar stage on Valterra in Catalunya. Not to be today. This was vintage Roglic into the drops. 300 meters to go, uphill sprint. See you later. In the green jersey, Roglic takes his first road stage win for Bora Hansgrohe after his TT win in País Vasco, and also the yellow jersey in this race. For now, Vlasov in third, very, very impressive. Ciccone second. Huge performance in fourth. Then Jorgensen, De Plus, Rodriguez, Evenepoel saved it, actually came back well. Then Haig and Hindley. Here's what Roglic had to say after the stage.
I'm quite limited with the left shoulder, actually. I can reach in the pocket or nothing. I just holding all day like this, but the legs were working. So about legs, I cannot complain. Yeah, I mean, definitely, like I said, finally, I mean, I win a race. Was a while. And the whole team, I mean, yes, the guys showed the commitment from the very start, from day one, and then chasing then the second stage. I mean, didn't work out yesterday. Yes, I mean we hit quite hard, all of us. So yeah, I mean today again they showed a great performance. So yes, big thanks, and we can enjoy it today.
In terms of GC, a big shake-up. Roglic moving into first now with a 19-second lead ahead of Evenepoel. 3 seconds behind Jorgensen on the podium. Vlasov also not far away. Rodriguez, he won't be happy with just 6th. He and De Plus, I think they're going to try some more stuff this week. I can't wait to watch this weekend. It's going to be fantastic stages. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you with the recap tomorrow. Ciao.